you said the word inspire. I'd like to think that we inspire our students, and absolutely to change that conversation, because without that conversation, we're always going to be, I think, in those knee-jerk reactions.
It's such an important point, and even beyond your students, how we talk about this in the public domain influences what the public thinks and what they believe they want. And that either inspires or scares politicians into the kinds of laws and decisions that they make and the policies that they make, because of course, they're always looking to be voted in, and they're also always looking to not be slammed in the tabloids for being too soft or whatever. So these are, you're right. I mean, I wasn't imagining we'd start here, but I think it's important to start here.
I think it is, and I think criminal justice is an easy target, and I think we are weighed down by some of those political decisions, certainly from the last 15, 20 years. And that weight is actually bearing quite a lot of damage in terms of what's happening. I think one of the biggest myths that we have is that we can use punishment to make individuals better citizens. It just doesn't work. It's a nonsense. It's preposterous. At best, it's a sticking plaster.
Mm-hmm.
You might enforce some short-term compliance. Okay, fine. But once that disappears, we're back to square one. It's absolutely preposterous. I absolutely agree with you. So I think this idea that we can build our way out of this, or that we can punish our way out of this, seems nonsensical. And actually, it's just counter to what the academic evidence says about what works and who it works for and in what circumstances. We completely miss the point of what's going on.
And I think it's important, if we're going to start here and say, actually, let's change the narrative at a societal level, because that is a matter of education, right? And it's a matter of going beyond the tabloid newspapers. I think it's really important that when you say and I say that the idea of punishment is it's crazy, it doesn't work, we're not saying we don't want accountability. No. And it's about that distinction. See, I have this line that I've always used, which is, I want to live in a world where every single person can take responsibility for everything they say and everything they do. And some people are just going to need more support than others to be able to do that. But that's where I want to get to.
I agree. And actually, I think that one of the things we've lost in our criminal justice system is that sense of mutual accountability. And I think in a way that's what you're talking to there. Is I think there's been a tendency for the accountability piece just to be in one camp or the other. And actually that's not how it is. So yes, those that are in the system have to take some accountability, their actions, for their transitions, whatever it might be. But the state and the system has got that accountability to create the environment that's conducive for that to happen. And I think that's the accountability piece that we've missed. And I think, just going back to our original point, I mean, it's a curious institution, prison. It's visible and yet invisible. And I think part of the problem is that invisibility. How do we fill that void? Well, we fill it through America's Toughest Jails on Netflix, or or lurid headlines. We don't actually get an opportunity to really understand what's going on. And there's lots of things that go on which are highly effective. Let's not sort of lose sight of some of that as well. Some of the work that you're doing, some of the work that I've seen elsewhere, highly effective. But the problem is we get caught in these punitive narratives, which tend to be really unhelpful for those things that are flourishing to flourish even more.
Yeah, and again, I'm not saying that we should get rid of prisons. I genuinely believe that, the baseline is that people living together in a society or a community need safety. That comes before anything. You need safety. And so I genuinely believe that it is sometimes important to remove somebody from society where nobody feels safe around them, or where they're not even safe to themselves. But it's when we've lifted someone out, it's
Yes.
what we do with them to ensure that we get, and even if I just take all the emotion out of it, that we get value for money out of what we're spending 100%. On that person to send them back into the community. I mean, I'm saying this tongue-in-cheek, fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, I agree. I think coming back to an original point, I mean, if we want these to be places which aren't just about containment, there has to be an environment where people can reflect.